Sure, they've had salsa. Yeah, so.
They don't know nothing.
A good crowd today.
Yeah.
It just feels more.
I'm with you. Right.
Well, seeing you guys have quieted down, we got a minute to go, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to the Grand Rapids Community College Board of Trustees meeting, Monday, March 21, 2022. Do you, Dr. Pink, or any trustees have any guests that you would like to introduce at this time?
Chairperson Kuchik, yes, certainly do. Today, I want to ask if Lene Selberg, one of our folks from our advising and counseling area, and Lene is also lead for our Phi Theta Kappa chapter here at GRCC and does so many other things. I want to introduce her. She has some very, very special guests with us today that we want to introduce you to so we can celebrate with them. So Lene, if you would.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pink. Distinguished Board of Trustee members and President Pink, welcome. My name is Lene Selberg, as he said, and it is my honor and privilege to present to you the three outstanding scholars who were chosen to represent GRCC as the 2022 All-Michigan Academic Team members. Of all the applicants who applied at GRCC, these are the three amazing students who were chosen to represent us. They were recognized at an event in Lansing on March 7th to receive their certificates, their medallions, which they're wearing, and their gift. These students will then be forwarded on for consideration of the All USA Academic Team. The academic teams recognize high academic achievement in college students who demonstrate academic excellence, intellectual rigor, combined with leadership, service that extends their education beyond the classroom to benefit our society. Let me take just a small moment to showcase these three amazing young people. Ramesh Kefli is from a small country called Nepal. He and his family arrived here in America in 2012 when he was 8 years old. He has since passed his naturalization test and become a US citizen. He is part of our Wyoming Early Middle College program, and he will graduate with his Associate's Arts in Business and will be continuing on at the University of Michigan this fall. He is involved in his community, the National Honor Society president at his high school, played soccer, volunteers. He volunteers for Habitat for Humanity, the food truck, and right now he's volunteering for the IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program through United Way. He is also someone who helps translate for both his family and other Nepali community members. Brent Yaks from Traverse City has been living here in Grand Rapids and came to Grand Rapids Community College to complete his pre-cybersecurity degree. He will be transferring to Ferris State this fall for a bachelor's in information security and intelligence. He's always had a passion for helping others and volunteering and hopes that one day through his education and his career in information security, he will be able to continue to help people. Amala Puskar and Omar are our last candidates here. She is wrapping up her business degree in accounting. Originally, she planned to just do 2 years at GRCC and find a job. But since then, she has found confidence in her ability to continue her education and hopes to go on to Davenport to further her accounting skills. She has the dream of finding a good job in accounting to secure a future for her family. Her proudest moments are her accomplishments at GRCC, her ability to be a role model for her children, and the accomplishments of her children. We are very proud of these three amazing scholars, and we're excited to present them to you today. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no finer way to start a board meeting than to have the three of you introduced to us. Thank you so much for representing this college Thank you for what you mean to this college and congratulations on your work. So we wish you Godspeed moving forward. Thank you so much.
Awesome job.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Trustees, now's the time to approve we have one more.
My dad is at home watching, and my dad's happy birthday, Dad. He turned 76 today.
Oh, my. All right. Anyone else? All right. Next item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Now is the time to move anything from the consent agenda. If you wish further conversation about any of those items, now is the time to suggest we add that to the agenda. Any changes or corrections to the agenda that was presented in front of us? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as is, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that same sign. That motion carries. We now move to public comment. This is the time in our meeting where we invite anyone who wishes to speak to any item that's on our agenda today to do so at this time. If you're inclined to do that, just come to the podium, introduce yourself, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Just recognize that we may not respond to your request at this time, but we certainly will allow your request to inform our conversations. Anyone? Seeing no one move forward, then we'll move on to a couple of special items of business. Annually, we are privileged to approve a public safety committee. I'm going to invite Chief Whitman to the podium to introduce to us that committee so that we can go ahead and give that its approval.
Thank you and good afternoon. I am Rebecca Whitman, the Chief of Police, for those of you that I have not met. As the chairperson said, annually I come to you to ask for approval for our Public Safety Advisory Committee members that are appointed on an annual basis. We are required to appoint 2 faculty members and 2 staff members. This year, the people who have volunteered to serve in this capacity are Nikki Banks from faculty, Hillary Haney from faculty, David Selman, staff member, and Grant Snyder, staff member.
All right. A motion, please, to approve that committee.
So moved.
Is there a conversation or discussion on that? Anything else you would like to add to the?
I have a question. This is the statutory, is this a statutory
It is.
requirement? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir, very much. We've got
Thank
our
you.
committee approved. You bet. Thank you. We also are privileged to actually accept the property tax and state revenues that are coming our way. That does take a motion from us. I'm going to invite Lisa to come to the podium to explain that so that we can move its approval.
You and good afternoon. This is yet another statutory requirement required as part of our Community College Act. It is required that prior to April 1st, the Board of Trustees officially accept our estimate of property taxes and state appropriation. They are noted in the resolution before you. I would point out that the property taxes include all of our total estimated collection, both the component that goes into our general operating fund, as well as the component that goes into our plant fund to provide for our debt service.
Thank you. A motion, please, to approve the property tax and state revenue as presented by Lisa.
Motion.
Support for that. Any more conversation or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Lisa, don't go too far. Unless you need to go back to your chair to give us a financial update.
I do not.
You do not. All right. So if you'd be willing to do that for us at this time, that would be great.
Absolutely. Included in your packet were the financial statements and the investment information for the month ended February. A couple of things that I would note, and then would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. First off, the budget has been adjusted to incorporate the mid-year changes that you approved in February. So that budget is current. There are no significant changes in alignment with where we are headed and what we've talked about as we, believe it or not, begin to approach the end of our fiscal year. And the only other thing that I would point out, just as a part of a matter of process, we are very closely watching the state budget. As we talked before, the governor has recommended a 5% increase. We at this time are incorporating a 3% as we work on our budget. We will bring you a full picture of the general operating and our ancillary funds budgeted projection in early May at your May work session in preparation for your consideration in June.
Thank you. Questions for Lisa on anything, the information that was in our packet, anything that she mentioned? Hearing none, thank you very much, Lisa. We'll invite you back up later on in our meeting. This afternoon, we also are privileged to get a report on completion and transfer. I'm going to invite Jennifer Knopf and Bill Faber to come to the podium to present that report.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Knopf, Associate Professor of Accounting in the Business Department, and this is Bill Faber. He's our Interim Dean of Arts and Sciences. So as you just said, we're going to give you an update on goal number 2. And so you can see on the slides here, I'll just remind you that this is obviously not Chris Johnston. He was up here for the 3 prior years with me. But I like to say he finally came to his senses and joined the faculty again. And so we needed somebody from administration. So Bill's doing a great job joining me on this goal. So we're
That
gonna
suggests Bill has lost his senses.
Got it.
Keep
So,
going.
We'll cover our goal statement. I will talk about what the CAP projects are, and then Bill is going to jump in here with reminding you who the CAP champions are, give you an update on their activities. I will come back and talk about the indicators of success, and then at the end, any questions that you may have. By all means, if you have questions throughout, feel free to stop us as we go. All right, so our goal statement for goal number 2, the college sustains and continuously improves our focus on successful student goal achievement, whether that be completion of a degree, credential, transfer to another college, or personal interest or skill attainment. So our 3 CAP projects. CAP 2.1, implement the academic pathways model at GRCC. I noticed some of you were looking at what we left in front of you with no heads up whatsoever, but Bill is about to give you an update. And so we've left a few things in front of you just as visuals. So he will talk about what those are, but there's one that has to do with pathways. CAP 2.2, establish and implement a new model for academic advising, and also CAP 2.3, which wrapped up last summer of 21, improve the student transfer experience. So I'll turn it over to Bill, and then I'll come back for the indicators of success.
Yeah, thanks. And I've been back from faculty to staff a couple times, so I'm not sure where I land.
You don't know where you're at.
Well, good afternoon, Board of Trustees and President Pink. Thank you for this opportunity to share the work of these college action projects. You can see that's CAPS, College Action Projects. I will identify the champions and the associated accomplishments, but please be aware that many faculty and staff are involved in making sure that this work is done successfully at the college. So CAP 2.1 works on the implementation of academic pathway models at the college. Okay, the champions are Jennifer Batten, she's a professor in the physical sciences department, and Tina Hoxie, associate provost and dean of student affairs. Some of the accomplishments of this CAP are the development and implementation of the academic pathway structural change process. This is being done with input from departmental faculty, the steering committee, and Dean's Council. The team supported the development and update of the following academic pathways this year: education and child development, public service, and social and behavioral sciences. Those were updates and some of them were new. They also supported the expansion of the academic program selection on the college application. So students can actually be right in a program or a pathway when they enroll. And they're aligning the academic programs with career exploration materials. This team has been promoting the academic pathways and programs to current and incoming students through the website, through printed material, which you have in front of you, and then also at campus events. Okay. They also share assessment metrics with the teams to help make decisions around these. And you'll see in front of you, you have, this is just blank inside, but you can see all the pathways that we have. And we actually have some pathway handouts that show the curriculum, the suggested curriculum and different things for each of the pathways. Okay. So next slide, please. So CAP 2.2 works on establishing, implementing a new model for academic advising. The champions are Yolanda Duncan, professor and counselor in disability support services, and Eric Mullen, Dean of Student Success and Retention. Some of the accomplishments and activities for this CAP are continuing to implement a case management advising model, which includes student care teams. They are concluding the implementation of the EAB Navigate platform, which is a student success management system. It includes an early alert system and a comprehensive academic planning system. It also has other features that support the case management model and care teams that are previously mentioned. Additionally, this team is expanding partnerships between advising and academic departments. And finally, CAP 2.3 was completed during the summer of 2021, and the work of this team was focused on improving student transfer experience. The champions are Mary Lucas, professor of communications, and she's the department head in language and thought, and Matt Novakowski, the director of transfer and articulation. Some of the achievements of this CAP include expanding knowledge and awareness of transfer and the importance of creating transfer champions at GRCC. They recommended updates to the transfer website and college catalog, and they also assessed our transfer policies and procedures based on national models and best practices. So the team's work supported CAP 2.2, and they also recommended several ways of institutionalizing this work. I'm going to hand this back to Jennifer to talk about the indicators of success.
The exciting stuff, the indicators of success, the data. I'm an accounting girl. You guys know that by now. This is my 4th year being up here with you. So our first indicator of success is goal attainment. Students are asked why they are attending GRCC as they enroll for the first semester. Those selecting either earn a degree, prepare to transfer, or both are then tracked to see if they've achieved their goal 3 years later. So I just want to warn you here, when the first year I presented was fall of 2018. So if you focus on that yellow bar in the middle, that was our baseline that we sent. I would have presented the first 4 bars to you in fall of 18. And basically at that point, we were just saying, based on the 3 previous years, our baseline, we are thinking should be 29.9. So the last 2 years that I've been in front of you, I typically just show you the baseline and then the current year. So if I would have continued to do the same thing this year, all you'd be looking at is the 29.9, the yellow bar, and the 30.9. But when I put this slide together this year, I found value in kind of taking a step back and looking at the big picture and seeing where we were, especially leading up to COVID, and kind of where we're at after COVID. I think it's worth noting the fact that we are still post-COVID at 30.9% of our students within 3 years have accomplished their goal. We're still above that baseline. And in fact, we're still above the 3 years leading up to that baseline. I think that's a really good accomplishment considering everything we've been through. I'll turn your attention to the 3rd bullet point there. It's in bold. It says another 17.8% of students remain enrolled. So in fall of 2021. So the 30.9% at the bottom, it says fall of 2018, and 3 years later was fall of 2021, just to make sure you're tracking the data here. So we have to keep in mind, and I typically say this every year, not that you need the reminder, but 3 years isn't necessarily long enough for our students to accomplish their goal, because we say about 70% of our students are part-time. And so if we say they're still here, at least 17.8%, maybe we need to pull that out to 4 years or 5 years. So it's still good news. I did go back and look at where we're at with that 70%. We usually say 70% of our students are part-time. That's usually based on fall data. Winter, it's closer to about 75%. And obviously summer is a little bit higher at about 95% part-time. But over the last couple of years, our percentage of part-time students has actually gone up by a couple percentages. So it's more like 72%, more like 76% in the winter. I would like to just take a moment, if I can, to speak to one of the reasons why our part-time numbers are going up. And I think you guys have the business pathway packet. One of our certificates listed in there is the retail management certificate that we are partnering right now with Meyer on. There's 8 classes in the retail management certificate. And Meyer has sent through, we're currently at 132 Meyer employees. We have 5 cohorts currently going on. Our 6th cohort is starting in the fall. And so to have 132 part-time students, they take a new course every 7 weeks, but only one at a time. And Meyer currently has about 500 students kind of waiting on this waiting list to get into our retail management certificate. So there is plenty of interest in that. That program is exploding and it's very exciting. It started back in fall of 19. We also just started the Meyer Supply Chain and Operations Management one, which is also listed in there. That certificate as well. They're in their 1st cohort right now. So that's one of the reasons why our part-time numbers are going up. I also wanted to share with you something that's very, very recent this semester that's very exciting to me. And I noticed that we have from the earlier presentation, somebody else who's excited about accounting, going into accounting. So that's always fun. But the exciting news in accounting is this semester, for the first time in the 17 years that I've been teaching here, we have large CPA firms seeking out our students. They have never done this in the 17 years that I've been here, but this semester already, Plant Moran, if you're familiar with it, I actually worked for Plant Moran in public accounting, Crow, and also BDO. They have all come to me and wanted to present to our students in what we call our Business Cafe series. It's basically an online chat session where our students can come and ask questions about the accounting field. And most recently, BDO wants to partner with, if you're familiar with WGU, Western Governors University, they want to start attracting our students as early as their freshman year to pull them in, get them excited about not only accounting, but also BDO, and then essentially hold their hand through that process of potentially transferring from CC to WGU and having a job ready and waiting for them at BDO when they finish. So I bring that up because goal attainment, I mean, I'm not sure there's a better motivation to get these students to finish, especially within a few years, right? When you already have a job sitting there waiting for you. So I know obviously I'm not here telling you all the reasons why these changes have taken place. I just like to share a little insight into the business department and especially the accounting world. But I also think it's really important. One last thing about this slide before I ask you if you have any questions on it. Last Friday, we just had our SLT, our strategic leadership meeting. And one of the things that I continue to ask or pose the question at our meetings this year is, I feel that we, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, we really need to figure out who our student is. Post-COVID, when we were 80% face-to-face and 20% online before COVID, and now it's the reverse of that. I think we were all initially thinking and all saying we can't wait to get back here. For me, coming here today was kind of unique walking in. I'm mainly online, and I was telling Bill, I haven't seen some of the remodeling that's been done. It's very exciting. But just lost my train of thought here. Sorry.
While you're trying to get your train of thought, did I hear you correctly that we now have 70% of our students who are online?
Part-time.
Part-time. Okay.
That was in the previous comment,
gotcha,
but
gotcha.
Before COVID, it was 80%
Got it. Yeah.
in person, 20% online.
Yeah.
Now it's the reverse of that. What I teach fully online now, I have one hybrid class. And I think a lot of us were saying at the start of COVID, we can't wait to come back. That's where I was going with that in person. But I'm finding with my own students now that they kind of settled in to learning in the online environment, and they aren't so anxious, at least by my own questions that I'm asking in my own classes. They're not so anxious anymore to come back. And so I'm left wondering, and what I keep bringing up at SLT is, who is our student? We've got these Meyer students that are all across the 6-state footprint for Meyer. They're no longer in the Grand Rapids area. And now, when I send emails to my students, I always assume that they're right in Grand Rapids. And a lot of them are, well, I'm not even in your state, so no, I can't use your tutoring services, So they want weekends, they want nights, they want 7 weeks more often. I'm left wondering who our student actually is. And I think that towards the end, I know Bill's gonna mention some things that you guys can help with. I think because we don't necessarily always get the best data from surveys, if you can just keep your ears open to kind of get us, get a feel for where we're at, what's the word on the street, if you will, what do our students want? Because I think by catering to what they want, the Meyer students wanted 7-week courses. We assumed they wanted 14, but they were very adamant about that. They want to get it over with and keep going on that. And because of that, Meyer is now paying for them to come back after their 8 courses and continue on to their associates. And they now want to pay for their bachelor's degree. And we didn't have our courses for the rest of the associate program. Not all of them were offered in 7 weeks. And so I was one of the ones in the business department to say, we need to start adding, especially accounting too, in 7-week blocks, not just in summer, but in fall and in winter, which we don't traditionally do, right? So all of that to say, I think we're doing a lot of really good things, but if we can continue to listen to our students, I'm hopeful that these percentages, even though they look like they dip down a little bit, they are still above the baseline. And I'm hopeful that they're going to continue to stay above that. So I'll stop for a minute and breathe to see if you have any questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because you were mentioning sort of the surveying or just the discovery work that's happening as things are changing, and they're changing so rapidly. And we look at these numbers and this idea of we identify them and then we're tracking them for the 3 years. But I'm curious what that discovery looks like post the 3 years. So if there's 50-ish% of students that haven't either met their goal or are still enrolled, are we reaching out to them? How do we do what you're describing sort of systemically to dig in and get that information to identify? Is there a way to get them back, or is there a way to to develop that into our system, whether it's shorter class coursework or those other things? Just curious what the process is for that 50-ish%.
Yeah, and that's a great question. I know at SLT on Friday, we studied some surveys, right? And I'm not sure beyond that particular survey. I know we read a lot of surveys and talk a lot about them at SLT. I don't know if you have any insight into that.
I think retaining your students is an initiative here. I mean, the more, even if it takes a longer period of time, it's easier to retain your students and find new students. So I'm undoubtedly we're reaching out to them.
And I will also say to that, Trustee Williams, so some of those, it's amazing. It's something of a mixed bag of folks of what they're doing. So there are some of those individuals when we collect, if you were to go back into fall 15 and back in that area, and then looked today, you'd see some of those students still on campus. We track it 5, 6, 7 years because we know how as Professor Knopf mentioned, we know how our students are. So some of those numbers go back there. And then some of that 50% are folks who decide they want to finish, but they were only coming to us, they only intended for us for 1 year or even sometimes 1 semester. I always tell the story of my neighbors who one day I saw them a couple of summers ago and they thanked me in GRCC for the fact that their 2 sons did their 1 year here and then transferred off to MSU, and they're doing awesome. And that 1 year is all they planned to do with us. And they were thrilled. And I said, that's awesome that they did. But the issue there is that because they started with us as first time, full time, they get counted in that number. And so the number counts against us as far as a 3-year baseline is concerned. But I'm so happy we were able to help those guys get what they needed from us. And so it's that mixed bag of what folks come to us for that we try to do more and more. And we're not there yet as far as perfection of understanding every last person of what that is, but we do know some of that, and a majority of those folks, it's a moving target for us. But it's a good question.
This relates to that. I can't recall, and forgive me if you've mentioned this, where does the 3-year baseline come from as a measurement of completion? Because we have so many students who are in that category.
It's the federal government. It's the federal government. Their guideline for a 2-year comprehensive institution is 150%. Everything is 150%. So typically you would think 2 years to finish the associate. Well, 150%, they add the 3rd year. And so we're measured, we being all our community colleges, we're measured by that 3-year cohort. Our friends who are the 4-year institutions are measured by their 6-year. And so it really, we have that in our place mostly because that's what, when you see iPads and those data, it's asking about, and it's reflecting 3-year data.
Okay. Should that be updated? I mean, is that,
You are asking a
Yes.
question that we've been asking
Okay.
for decades as institutions. I will tell you, I have been asked to be in on some conversations with iPads and with our federal government, and several of our community college presidents, myself and a few others from others across the country had a really good conversation with our friends from iPads who do the iPads work. And I do think they are hearing us. How much they're listening to it, we'll see. But we truly try to help them understand. And there's so many things that are based around that, right? I mean, you know, SAPs, you know, satisfactory academic progress, and financial. There's so many things that they base around the 3-year cohort, and that truly we continue to have to press those conversations, because it's a national conversation, definitely.
is it Department of Education? I mean, where is it in the regs? Is
Very
that?
much DOE.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's why that 17.8 is such an important number. the
Yes.
Students that are still here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that any of us have learned from COVID is we should question the way we do everything, right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
possibly we can change that.
Very true.
One of the things you indicated was that the accounting firms are finding our students more attractive. Do you know what changed?
You know, I'm wondering the same thing myself, because it's just recently, it looks like Dr. Pink wants to jump in.
Because I talked to those three, I talked to BDO and also Crow. Crow was one that reached out. They, two things. Number one, talent gaps, needs for talent. But number two, along with that talent gap, realizing that something that we as in community colleges have been screaming for a while, programs like Professor Knopf, those folks are finishing her program. They are ready to do more work than just saying, not till you get a 4-year degree, can you come work for us? Those companies, as having a conversation with the VP from Crow, they're starting to realize more and more that what they are receiving in community colleges at ours being the one that they're focused on, that the students that Professor Knopf has in her program are definitely capable of coming in and starting in on this work. And so and if they can get them at that point and nurture them along, and now you're a part of us, and by the way, let's pay for your education, they know it's a strategy to get those folks in. Plus, she and her colleagues do an awesome job, so that's helpful.
Yeah, I remember when Plant Moran gave me my full-time offer as a junior, when I finished tax season, winter season of my junior year, and they said, just go finish your degree and come back. And again, what motivation was that? So if now our students are getting in the door at BDO as an example and told their freshman year, hey, do you like it here? You know, are you interested? And told that early on, again, I see that as great motivation. Why? Because it was motivation for me. So
Smart move on their part.
very smart
move.
and very exciting. Again, 17 years and I've never seen it. I'm more than happy to work with those firms right now. It's very exciting. The class, if you want to go to the last slide there. I know it's been a while. The other indicator of success is academic progress. So percentage of first time in any college students completing 15 or more non-AFP, so academic foundation program credits. So basically non-fund developmental credits with a grade of C or better in their first academic year. So we say it's kind of an indicator of momentum. If they get going and they get 15 credits out of the way in the first year, usually is a good sign that they're going to be successful going forward. It was pretty easy, as you can see, to set that baseline after 3 years of exactly 35 as well. So again, just like to point out that we have been able to stay above that 35%, again, for a lot of the same reasons on the last slide.
Does that include middle college students, dual enrollment students? If they get 15, once they meet that 15 credit barrier?
My first guess, Brian, I don't think so, because they're not really getting 15 in a year because they are so spread out. Middle college typically starts with us their 9th or 10th grade year. And so their credit hours are so spread out. I'm not too sure if they're getting, I don't think they're getting 15 in a.
That makes sense. First academic year. I was thinking, because there is so much data around success for those first 15 credits.
Exactly.
And so there's been a lot of work that high schools are doing to support students in their first 15 credits. That single year makes sense.
And again, I'll just say the Meyer students really show signs of, again, wanting that 7-week setup all year long. And they constantly are saying it's because 14 weeks is just too long. They're too busy with work. They get halfway into the semester, the 7 weeks, and they're like, I just got to be done. I have to have the light at the end of the tunnel be so much closer. So I think just offering just that simple thing of offering 7-week courses year round is going to, provide some of that momentum for our students. I think it's huge. So.
Not to go outside of goal 2, but we do have another college action project in goal 1 associated with 7-week courses and business. And a lot of our gen ed courses we're offering in that 7-week format.
Go ahead.
All right.
If we're done.
So next slide, class. So as with all goal updates, we finished by stating how you, the Board of Trustees, can help. So we need you to highlight our career and transfer success stories and promote our academic pathways in the community. You can see all of them on the front of that booklet. Please share our various educational options such as 7-week courses, along with our multiple modalities with the community and your connections. So we have several resources on the next slide there. And we also put a copy of a fast facts book that has some information about GRCC and our programs and different things there that you can share. And then we're happy to answer any questions if you still have.
Thank you. Other questions for the team?
There wasn't a public service pathway pamphlet included. Can you tell us just a little bit about what that entails, that pathway?
I actually am not that familiar with the public service pathway. I know it's newer. If any.
Is that a Sheila question?
Oh, maybe.
That's one of the revamped programs of the notebook that has the 12 academic pathways. 10.
Right.
And so the public service one used to be part of well, either way, we'll get you the more updated.
Yeah,
version.
sure.
So it includes all our agreements.
Good.
CJ, so, and it's really not a lot of new programs, but pulled apart. From social behavioral science. So those, we found that that wasn't really helpful us together because each of the pathways starts with core of classes to help launch students into those fields. So what we've really done is just reorganize the pathways. So it's clear
So much easier for a student to find the police academy, now
Right.
with that,
Mhm.
because of the public service
Public
piece,
service.
it's more accessible to find.
Anyone else? Hearing none. Well done. Thank you so much. Very informative.
Nice job.
Appreciate it. Very well done. We're going to move on to reports. We have a student report from Brendan Burke. I believe that is virtual. Is that not, class? Is he live virtual or is this a? Okay.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can,
Awesome. Thank you all for having me here today to give a quick student update to Dr. Pink and the Board of Trustees. As my time as Student Alliance President is winding down, I'm grateful for the opportunity to help lead our GRCC student somehow. This is my last report to the group. Since the last time I spoke with you guys, Student Alliance, Campus Activity Boards, and the Office of Student Life have seen an increase in participation in student organizations, in-person and virtual programming because we are in the middle of finding our normal. We co-hosted Homecoming with the GRCC Foundation and Alumni Relations, which included several events from breakfast with Dr. Pink, a spirit competition, and ice skating. We have started a monthly newsletter communication to all students. And we have also started a weekly skill builder workshop series to help student leaders grow. And the last week we had our annual student leadership award ceremony from 3 to 6 in the Raider Grill last week. And we recognized many students and student organizations for their contributions to campus over the past year. We are also excited to announce that we are excited to celebrate our graduates and help them sign up for commencement at Grad Fest at the end of the month with the main campus on Tuesday, March 29th and Lakeshore on Wednesday, March 30th. This concludes my report and thank you for all what you do for the students.
Thank you, Brandon. Are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Oh, good. So do anyone have questions? Hearing.
I
Go
would
ahead.
say, Brendan, this is Dr. Pink, and I just want to say between Student Alliance and Campus Activities Board, congratulations last week on such a successful student leadership banquet. You guys did an awesome job of the joint effort with Student Life and putting that together. You transformed a space on campus to be a beautiful, beautiful atmosphere for awards to be given and recognition. So just wanted to say in this public setting from me and my office, awesome job. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
And just also on behalf of the board, Brandon, thanks so much for the leadership position you assumed at the beginning of the year. These were tough times to bring the student community together. And we just applaud the work that you did and are grateful for that. So with that, we'll let you go back to studying and we're going to go and continue with our meeting. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to follow Brendan with a report on the foundation from Dr. Kathy Mullins. Kathy, please.
Good afternoon. I am happy to be here this afternoon. I have some really good news to share with the board today regarding the foundation. Just learned that we have offered, the GRCC Foundation has offered $1,271,000 in scholarships to date for our students. We've offered that to 1,342 students, which equates to 327 new students received scholarships this year for the first time.
Wonderful.
So we are very
Awesome.
excited about that. I want to say thank you to Dave Murray and the communications team. He's doing a great job of making sure that these scholarship opportunities are made available to anyone who will listen and hear about these opportunities, because what we find is students don't necessarily just first thing they don't do when they apply, they look at their bill and then try to figure out how to pay it. They don't think about scholarships because there's a thought process that scholarships are just handed out and awarded to our students. So Dave's done a great job in helping us promote that, and we appreciate him very much. In addition to awarding these scholarships, my team in the foundation has been working with the team in the enrollment center and working around how do we help promote scholarships, especially at the K-12 level with our K-12 partners, and how do we get counselors interested in the scholarship process. So the GRCC Foundation Board recently established the GRCC Foundation Board of Directors Excellence Scholarship, which will be awarded for the first time this semester. This is a full ride scholarship that will pay tuition and fees associated with registered classes for one graduating high school senior in Kent County and one in Ottawa County. This is the first time we've dedicated a scholarship to an Ottawa County student, and with the Lakeshore campus, it really makes sense to do that this year. So we're excited about that. The students are nominated by counselors in their high school. Each counselor at each high school in the two counties can nominate one student, and then we'll get those nominations in, and the GRCC Foundation Board of Directors will read through the applications, and they will select a student to receive the scholarship from Kent County and from Ottawa County. For students who already might have some special programs that pay for their tuition, like Promise Zone and things like that, we are offering $1,500 to be awarded to that student each semester if that student's selected. And this $1,500 can be used to offset any other education costs. So we aren't eliminating anyone from the ability to be selected for this scholarship. And we are extremely excited because this May, when students graduate from their high schools, we'll be able to make a big announcement at their school that they have gotten a full ride at GRCC. So we're very excited about that. In addition to that scholarship work and the importance around that scholarship work, each year I do some data collecting, and with the help of my colleagues in institutional research and planning, we track the scholarship cohort group each year, and we track them to see how they're doing in transfer, persistence, and completion. So we've been doing that for a long time. We used to do a project as part of our HLC accreditation process called Street to Completion, where we would work with this group of students and just track them to see how they're doing. This year, when I just pulled that data and looked at that data, all scholarship recipients, as compared to students who don't receive any scholarships, 85% of those students transfer, they either transfer, complete, or persist. Whereas when I look at the population of students at GRCC that gets no scholarships, that percentage is 61% this year. So scholarships make a huge difference in that transfer, persistence, and completion rates. And so it is critically important to what we do for our students. And we're really excited to be able to offer these scholarships. We're also excited this year, we get to do 2 in-person events that we haven't done in at least 2 years. We're bringing back the Creating Connections Breakfast. And this is truly, if you've been before, this is one of the best events that we do. It's the feel-good event that we do. We introduce our scholarship recipients to our scholarship donors over breakfast, and we have a presentation where we have donors speak as well as students, and it's just an opportunity to forge some relationships and some connections that we hope the students and the donors will continue for a lifetime. And this is one that we used to do this in half of the ATC banquet room. We do it now in the Ford Field House. And so this year we will be doing that on Friday, April 22nd at 7:30 in the morning in the Ford Field House. Misty has the Evite. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it soon, inviting you to this event, and we just need you to RSVP. I look forward to seeing you there because I know you will enjoy this event. It's a great way to start your day.
A delightful event. That it is. That it is.
And then the second event that we're hosting this year in person, and we are very excited about, is the largest event that we host in the foundation. And we're bringing back ScholarFest, and we are bringing ScholarFest back on campus. Now we are looking at that happening on September 15th, but that date is not set in stone yet because we are going to hold this event in the Secchia Piazza in the newly renovated Heritage Restaurant. So we have to wait, get confirmation from our construction team that we can do that on September 15th. And we are excited to bring community back onto campus. And this year we are honoring President Emeritus Oliveras and his wife, Mary. So those will be the honorees this year at the event. And I will keep you posted as far as that date as we learn more. And finally, for the last item on my report today, I just want to take a minute to recognize the retirement of a dedicated foundation donor, a GRCC colleague, and a dear friend to a lot of us here, Dr. Tina Hoxie. Tina retires from GRCC on April 5th after 28 years of dedicated service to the college. Tina has devoted her entire career to students. She's an academic leader that has always been the voice of the table, advocating for the needs of our students. As a colleague, she's a phenomenal team member, a mentor, an advocate, a confidant, and a friend. Tina has never been one to necessarily arrive at meetings on time all the time, but that is because she's usually helping a student that she's bumped into in the hallway on her way to a meeting. Answering their questions, she listens to their dreams, she helps them overcome obstacles, and she just does whatever she can to help them be successful. In addition to all the time she's dedicated to our students, Tina has also been a dedicated GRCC Foundation donor for 27 consecutive years. She's the perfect example of a person that dedicates her time, treasure, and talents to the college. She's a giant bolt of lightning in a tiny little frame that can always find the positive in every situation. It is an amazing thing. We have laughed at her stories, and several of us in a room have bought her Diet Cokes and bottles of water because she never has her wallet with her. And so when I think about Tina, I smile. When I think about Tina's legacy, I'm grateful. She taught us to always remember the voices of our students in all the decisions that are made. And I can say she's inspired me personally to continue this important work even after she retires. GRCC, our students and our community are all better because Tina Hoxie chose to dedicate 28 years of her career to GRCC. I just want to say thank you, Tina, for choosing us, for helping our students, for always supporting scholarships, and I wish you the very best in your retirement. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Tina, are you in there? I'm looking in the light here. And if you're already standing, I can't see you. Are you here?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
here?
she's little.
You're here.
Yeah.
He's here. Yeah. Why don't you just stand up so we can say thank you?
I think she's on here virtually today.
Oh, virtually. That's the
Yes.
downside of virtual
It
stuff.
is,
so.
it is.
But we can all echo your comments about Tina. Absolutely. Any questions for Kathy and her report? Anyone? Thank you very much for your work, your good work. It's always an encouragement to hear how many scholarships we give out every year. Moving on, Dr. Pink.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson Cucci, Board. And yes, it's so good to be able to share time with you today. I will try to be a bit brief. I want to reiterate a couple of things that Dr. Mullins said. First of all, Dr. Mullins, I don't think we've ever been over 1,000 students in a year giving scholarships, have we? At least I know since I've been here, I don't know if I've ever heard of going. Yeah, but to be 1,300 is amazing. To you and your team in the foundation, thank you and congratulations. And to our team in student in advisement and enrollment, counseling, all those folks have a lot to do with this because getting out the message. And as she mentioned to communications, Dave Murray, I mean, this is a team effort that gets those kind of numbers and lets you know how students are being assisted in all the ways we talk about Reconnect, Futures for Frontliners, Pell Grants, we talk about Promise Zone, all these things. We also make sure you mention GRCC Foundation as being another avenue that helps students when it comes to accessing their higher education here. Also, in reiterating what Dr. Mullins said, knowing Dr. Hoxie is on this meeting, Tina is one that this college will miss. I'm happy that Kathy mentioned it. I had it on my sheet as well. But she is an individual that this college will miss because no one cares for students like Tina Hoxie, and no one does the work the way she does. I call her one of our utility employees here because I can always, when we have a space that needs to be filled temporarily or whatever, when Dr. Chesley resigned from being provost and went to Oregon to become president, and during the time between Dr. Chesley and Dr. Cannell coming to us, the utility, Dr. Hoxie was our interim provost. And the nice thing about Dr. Hoxie, when you plug her in, it's not just fill the spot. She fills the spot, but then she also stays focused on how to advance the work. Many times an interim just fills it and just maintains. That's just not in Dr. Hoxie's DNA. She makes sure that she does what she can with the leadership to advance the work. So from my standpoint, just want to make sure and call her out for that. A couple of things that I've mentioned to you trustees, really In these last 6 months, we've had, I believe, our governor here in the state of Michigan, Governor Whitmer, has been to campus about 4 times in the last 6 months. She knows what college to come to when she's coming to the West Side. So it's been an honor for us to host her here on campus in those times. The most recent, I mentioned it because the most recent was just a couple of weeks ago on March 7th. It's one thing that this college is really good at, whether it be a governor. When I remember when I first got here and we hosted Governor Snyder, I want to say twice in his last year or two in being in place, having the first lady on campus and the various legislators when they come. One thing this college does really well is show very well and provide a welcoming environment for anyone to come. If they're coming to the west side, coming to West Michigan, this college is typically one of the places they say, can we go to GRCC? And it's really nice to have them. So been a point of pride for us. Also, please hope by now, know we've gotten information out to you, but mark on your calendar, commencement coming up this year, April 29th and 30th. We'll have 2 ceremonies. On the 29th, I'll be celebrating the commencement and graduation of our students in our School of Arts and Sciences. Then April 30th, plan to celebrate our students who are in our School of Workforce Development, having both of those ceremonies in days back to back, be able to not only thin the crowd out, but also allow students who are in attendance to have family members to the most that we can be able to be in the field house. So very excited about that, and also happy to announce probably the first time publicly our commencement speaker this year. We're set to have Birgit Close as our commencement speaker, former CEO of about 30 years of The Right Place, now retired CEO of The Right Place. Birgit, for me, in asking her to do that, knowing how she cares and in her years in her role, how she not only cared, but understood and believed in the mission of this institution, it became really easy to ask Birgit to be that commencement speaker. And so her story is really strong and powerful of coming to this country and then coming to West Michigan, and also the work that she did for so long here in economic development, not only in West Michigan, but being that national name. I remember when I was set to come to GRCC, living in Oklahoma City, when my colleagues around me knew that I was coming to Grand Rapids, one individual I remember who was in economic development in Oklahoma said to me, "You're going to Grand Rapids?" I said, "Yes." She said, "There's a little German woman there." And started telling me about this little German woman that you've got to meet because she is a part, and just starts bragging on the work that this little German woman, as she said, was doing in West Michigan. And upon coming to West Michigan, understanding what I had been hearing and meeting Birgit Close, Birgit is a true leader nationally when it comes to, I don't see her as I see her as an incredible leader in the space of economic development. So she will be our commencement speaker, and we're looking forward to having her on campus for both of those ceremonies, and she is excited to do so. So that is my
All right,
report,
good.
Chairperson.
Hey, thanks for the update. Thank you very much. Community Connections, board members are aware that we've received a thoughtful letter from a student around the issue of epilepsy training for staff. I just wanted to acknowledge that so that we get acknowledgement of that in the minutes. Let's move on to approve the consent agenda. A motion to approve that, please.
So moved.
Is there support for that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. We had a few purchases over $100,000 in our packet. A motion to approve those purchases, please. That's moved, and I hear a support for that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Also, just want the record to note that we did approve a purchase in between meetings because of the urgency of that. Just make sure the record has that as well. I'm going to invite Lisa Freiberger back up to the podium. We have the matter of tuition for next year to react to. Lisa, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, and good afternoon once again. We are pleased this afternoon to bring to you the tuition proposal for the 2022-23 school year. These tuition rates, if approved, would take effect for the fall of 2022. We are, after much consideration and doing all possible to recognize where some of our students are, looking at pandemic and implications, financial implications continued throughout. We are recommending a $1 increase in tuition from 117 resident tuition rate to 118 resident tuition rate. That is approximately 0.9% increase this year over last year. All of our other tuition rates, including non-resident out of state, our differential tiered rates, job training, construction trades are all based off of that recommendation and increasing, again, proposed in approximately 1% or a little bit under that, depending on where those dollars fall. So specifically, we're recommending a $2 increase in our non-resident rate, a $3 increase in our out-of-state rate, and then again, similar increases in that 0.8 to 1% increase for the remaining tuition rates. Our preschool rates are also included, and we would request your consideration of those as well. Those are developed in close working with our early childhood team and based on our other comparisons with other institutions in our close proximity. Would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Of note, it also is hugely helpful. We're very appreciative that the Pell Grant Award, full Pell Award, was announced and approved for next year. And that maximum Pell amount is going up by $400 to a level of $6,895 for a full eligible full-time student.
Thank you, Lisa. The detail of that report was provided to the board in a work session on the proposed tuition increases for next year. I'll invite a motion to approve those, please.
I want to just ask Lisa, can I ask now or do you need a motion?
Could I have a
first?
motion first?
Motion.
Thank you. Get support for that?
Or
Now you can ask the question. It's
Sorry.
just so much fun to just do that, isn't it?
We froze tuition last year.
We did.
Can you remind us what we did with tuition the 2 years before last year?
Absolutely. Thank you. We did freeze tuition last year, so there was no increase for 21-22. From 19-20 to 2021, we increased by $2. So our tuition, if the 118 is approved this evening, was 117 last year. The 21-22 fiscal year was again 117 per contact hour in 2021, was 115 in 19-20 and 114 in 18-19.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments?
Just a quick comment to help me understand. At least told me that the $1 increase is about $30 a year.
Correct. For a full-time student at 15 contact hours a semester.
Let me put that in context. So thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else? Ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thanks for all the work, Lisa, behind putting that together. Thank you so much. We have reached the time in our meeting for our final public comment. This is a time where if anybody wants to address the board on any matter, you can do so at this time. I'm not seeing anybody move forward. If you're inclined to do that, you are. So let me continue then. So be so kind as to just introduce yourself at the podium and limit your comments to 3 minutes. And just remember, the board may not react to or address your concerns, but we will certainly have them inform us in further conversation. So go ahead.
Hi, a little bit ago, you mentioned how you had a student earlier this week send in a letter regarding epilepsy.
Yeah.
And I am that student.
Okay.
My name is Elizabeth Agee, and this is my second year here at GRCC. I'd first like to say that I am so incredibly grateful for this college and everything it's done. Due to epilepsy, I missed out on a lot of things in high school. A lot of classes, even had a seizure before one of my dances, couldn't attend. And when it came senior year, I didn't have enough credits to graduate high school. So I looked at a lot of different options, maybe GED, became a high school diploma online, but then I found out GRCC, I just need to be 18 to come here. I don't need a high school diploma, which is amazing. 2 years later, I'm gonna get my associate's degree in a month, which is incredible. And I'm now going to attend NMU in the fall to pursue my education. I'm so thankful for the support here, especially the disability support services. But 1 in 26 people in the world will be diagnosed with epilepsy in their lifetime. 100,000 people in Michigan have epilepsy. The number of Americans who have epilepsy is greater than the number who have multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, and cerebral palsy combined. So there must be several GRC students here with me or besides me who have epilepsy. And I just want to share one specific experience I had here on campus. I've had a couple seizures here, but this is just one in particular. So I had a seizure last semester in class, and people are often pretty afraid and not sure what to do when one occurs. And last semester I had one, and my prof followed protocol and called campus police. And I think the officer may have known and been told the basics of what to do, put them on their side, protect their head, but didn't quite understand what to do, why I was acting the way I was, or understood. She couldn't seem to understand why I had a seizure. She was asking if I had taken my medication, eaten that day, seen my doctor, if I got enough sleep. And she didn't seem to understand. She just seemed to think that it could have been prevented, and not even knowing that 30 to 40% of people with epilepsy don't respond to medication. I was very confused and out of it. I was not really able to be hounded with these questions. She thought that because I was confused and out of it, that I must need to go to an ambulance. And that's not necessary. Ambulances are very expensive, usually at least $500, and just unnecessary. So after a while, she was able to see that I was okay and I just needed to go home. So she helped me stand up. She picked up my backpack for me, and then she said, "This backpack is heavy. I feel like I'd have a seizure just from carrying this around." And I felt like that was kind of an insensitive thing to say. So I have 3 requests. One is to review your policy for when your officers are called to a seizure incident. 2, to make sure they understand people are confused when they come out of their seizure. Not so much just the list of this is what happens, but to be there and reassuring these people. And 3, have police officers take seizure certification training. The Epilepsy Foundation of America fortunately provides free training. It's online and it's free. It's available 24/7, has a length of only 75 minutes, and whoever takes it will then receive a certification upon completion. And there's also another 30-minute seizure-free aid training. You won't get a completion or certificate with that one, but that's another shorter length. But I feel that anyone can find 75 minutes in their life to help these students out. The officer did tell me afterwards that they get calls about seizures on campus about once a month. So it's definitely not a rarity, definitely not the only one here. And you can find more information at learn.epilepsy.com. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Thank you very much. Just, well, thanks for the courage to come up and to inform us of that. Thank you. Anyone else? As you're finding your seat, I just acknowledged in our response to you, my journey with my daughter, whose story is very, very similar to yours, and a lot of empathy for that. And can, through her lens, appreciate the courage it took for you to stand up here and address us. So thanks for that courage.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've reached near the end of our meeting. Trustees, any comments or questions that any of you have before we adjourn? Seeing none, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Nothing else to add? Yeah, like
Everyone's like, no, I'm good.
Sign this, it's for our taxes.
Spear, what did he say of the student? What did he say he was saying? Spear?
What's that?
Spirit activity.
Well, spirit activity. Spirit activity.
That they work with us.